You both said today that you love each other, and I believe it, but I'm trying to tell you, love is not enough for a successful marriage. There's so many other things that go in it. It's not just about you anymore.
Here is today's case.
I just fell in love with him because I said, this is a fairy tale. This is a fairy tale. He was telling me what all he had. He said he had a condo.
I don't even know what a condo is, period. I'm just saying.
How long after the two of you started talking on the phone did you move in together?
A month.
Well, Miss Anthony, if it sounded like it was too good to be true, it probably was, right?
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Anthony versus Anthony.
Thank you, Wani. Denisha Anthony.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought your husband, Christopher Anthony,
Yes, Your Honor.
to court today to sue for $995 for an unpaid phone bill. You also say throughout the history of the marriage and relationship, there have been a number of problems involving lying and cheating, and you want to discuss those today in court.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll start with you, ma'am. Give me some background.
I brought Christopher here today because I don't want this marriage anymore. It's just so much going on in this marriage. And he is a liar, a cheater, and verbal abuser. And I can't take that no more. First of all, let me say this. How we met, it was so wonderful, so amazing. I thought it was a fairy tale, but it wasn't. We met through a phone call, through his daughter's old number.
So you had his daughter's old number.
I had the daughter's old number.
And he just happened to call it one day.
And he called
and you
by
answered
mistake.
the phone.
Yes, Your Honor,
So-
by mistake.
So it was love at not
was love at
first
first
sight,
sight.
but the
Yes,
first thing
it
you
was.
heard.
Yes.
And what was it about that phone call, hearing her voice?
That's the magic question, right? It was a ringtone. She had like Tamala Man, wasn't it?
So you heard her voice recording initially.
No, I heard her voice. She answered the phone.
Okay,
Brief conversation, but while the phone was ringing, she had a ring back.
it was a song.
Correct.
And this caught your attention.
That was caught my attention.
And that was good for you to
Right.
move forward.
Right.
So were you living in the same city at the time?
No, ma'am.
You were not.
No.
Okay, and what did he tell you about himself initially? Because you said he lied.
Your Honor, he told me that he was a youth pastor. He was dealing with the youth, and he was not.
Hold up. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Were you not?
I'm sorry. Can I say something real
Sir,
quick?
Hold on a second. You will have your opportunity to
Yes,
speak.
ma'am.
But the general appropriate phrase in court is not hold up,
Yes, ma'am.
just so you know.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, were you or were you not a youth pastor?
No, ma'am.
Why did you tell her you were pastoring the youth?
I deal with you.
So we lying now?
Ma'am?
Mind your business.
Listen. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this in court today. I
Yes,
know
Your
you
Honor.
guys have a lot of history and there's a lot going on here.
Yes.
But we are not going to do this in court. Now, you say you were dealing with the youth.
Correct.
Well, did you say you were a youth pastor?
No, Your Honor. I deal with youth. I would love to pastor the youth, but I'm not something that I'm not. I'm not finna say I'm this and I'm not that.
When I asked him what do, he said, I'm a youth pastor. And he was telling me that he was coming to get me the next month, which was February the 25th, I think it was, or the 19th. It was one of them days. He came and got me.
When do you find out that he's not a youth pastor, but is just dealing with the youth, as he said?
When we went back up there, when he came and got me and we went to South Carolina, I left home. I didn't even know this man from a can of paint.
So why'd you
hear me,
go?
Miss Hawk?
Thank you.
Why did you go?
I went because out of love. We had talked for that whole, I felt like I was in love. I was 23 years old.
But you say he didn't know you from a can of paint.
He didn't know me.
So you didn't know him either, right?
I didn't know him, but I went out of love because of the simple fact he was telling me all about the youth, the pastor, and I was in the church then strong. I just fell in love with him because I said, this is a fairy tale. This is a fairy tale. He was telling me what all he had. He said he had a condo by the ocean. Went out there, he didn't even have a condo.
Well,
he didn't have nothing.
Well, Miss Anthony, if it sounded like it was too good to be true, it probably was, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you showed up in
I
his
showed-
town where he lived.
Yes.
And when you say he didn't have anything, what did you see when you got there?
When I got there, He told me that the condo was getting remodeled.
Okay.
So we went to another place. We went to another home. The home didn't even belong to him. It was somebody else's house. I'm talking about we stayed there, but they told us we had to move, and then we had to go to one of his relatives' house and stay.
Whose house was it?
I don't know. But the guy came back, wanted us to move, and we had to get out. So he just told me a bunch of lies.
So was there ever a condo by the water, sir?
I don't even know what a condo is, period. I'm just saying. As far as when we got
you
there,
not
I
know what a condo is?
told her, I said, look, she wanted to come because she had issues where she was at. And it was good between me and her. The chemistry was good. So I gets her and let her know, look, we're gonna go stay with my family until this place gets finished. It was supposed to have been finished, but then we were behind on the work.
What place was that? Was it a place that belonged to you?
It was supposed to have been ours. Well, I was trying to arrange something so when I go get her, she'll have something to come to. But she had things going on, and I ain't say she had to, but
She needed to
ready
leave right
go.
away.
Right.
Was it?
exactly.
Had the two of you met before then?
Negative.
So you had never met in person
No.
before you left town and moved in with him?
No, we have never met.
How long after the two of you started talking on the phone did you move in together?
A month. He also was cheating at the same time, Your Honor.
Well, I hadn't gotten past the first few lies you said he said.
He said that the house was mine here. The house was never, ever his.
You did not
Owner?
own the space.
No.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense, just so you know. How long after you got there did you find out all of these things weren't true? And why didn't you leave at the time?
Because I didn't want to be a failure to my family. I didn't want them to look at me as, oh, well, you done left home and then you back already? No, I didn't
So you didn't want to,
that.
you thought that was going to be too embarrassing. So you would rather
That
stay
too.
with somebody who lied about who he was
Yes.
and what his job was and where he lived? You thought that was better for you than going back and being embarrassed?
No, I thought that it was love because of the promises that he was telling me.
But they weren't true. You found out they weren't true.
weren't true.
And you still
But-
thought it was love?
But, Your Honor, he also was cheating at the same time, Your Honor.
Well, I hadn't gotten past the first few lies you said he said.
Yes, but what I'm saying is...
So
that-
it doesn't need to get worse for me. We can slow
Yes.
this down.
Yes, I understand. I found out through his relatives that he was not a youth pastor. And the mother had told me, she told me when I went to her house for a gathering. And we had to move to her house. He said that the house was mine here. The house was never, ever his.
And you
at
said,
all.
you're saying that it was, sir.
It was not.
That this home belonged to you.
As far as owning, no. As far as me and her moving into, as far as me trying to set something up for me and her can move into when she got here, yes, as far as ours. But as far as, okay, this is my...
Well,
this is mine.
ownership would mean you have a right to move into a space.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So you did not
Owner-
own the space?
No.
Were you
No.
squatting?
You know, I just found out what that meant. But no, that's not what we were doing. We was not doing no squatting.
Yes, we
listen. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to try to set something up so we can have a place for when you come up here. All right, cool. Did that. Set it all up. It was a little bit behind work, but we got it done. Now, the guy that owned this place, which was an apartment building, big old apartment building, he sold it. And by him selling it, we had to move out.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense, just so you know, because the mere fact that ownership of an apartment building changes does not mean you have to move.
Can I say something? Mm-hmm. Am I lying?
Yes, you lying.
I think what you said about the belittling that's taken place, the name calling that's taken place, everything that I've witnessed, a pattern and practice of petty and emotionally abusive behavior. And you have tolerated far too much. If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms, and for exclusive content, go to Apple TV. What else is going on here?
And I just want to say this. He was cheating. And I know for a fact he was cheating. Him and a relative. She had lost her place.
Your relative?
My relative. She lost her place and had to come and stay with us. But she was in and out different areas. Mm-hmm. I came home one night, mm-hmm. and them two was in the bed together. His leg was over hers. And then on top of that, I found a condom cleaning up the next day up under the bed. Christopher want to say it belonged to me.
Mr. Anthony, why was the relative in bed with you?
I've never slept with now one of her family members. Me and you talking right now, if we get in a conversation, she gonna start accusing me and you of wanting to be
not
involved
relevant
with
to the
each other.
answer. That's
what
not
I'm
relevant
saying
to the
is
question
that
I'm asking.
it ain't happen like that. And so what you asking me
So you gonna
is
deny?
irrelevant.
Ma'am.
Ain't nobody talking to you. I don't know what she talking about. Her head is bad.
So this entire testimony that she's given today about coming home and the two of you being in bed together, that is simply not true. It's completely
No, that's
fabricated.
not true. That's a bunch of foolishness.
So never.
And then as far as
there was a relative that stayed with the two of you from time to time, correct?
Her relative.
And it was one of her relatives, correct?
Correct.
All of that part is true.
Correct.
But the part where she says she comes home to the two of you in bed together, that is a complete fabrication.
And that is true.
Okay, that's a tough one.
Not only that, Your Honor, I mean, even with that being said, the cheating, he also, I had a young lady come to me, and she had invited us to a gathering. He didn't go because he had to work. And we went to her house, and we had got in the pool, but the young lady, she tried to drive me. When we got out the pool, she said, I meant to drive you. What do you mean she tried to drown you? She tried to drive me because she said that Christopher was her man. Wow. And the thing about it is, if he's so much of your man, why he ain't staying with you? That's your answer to somebody who is claiming that Christopher is their man. You're saying, well, he's not because he's staying with me. I don't know that that's something you should be bragging about. No. At this point, right? Right. And Mr. Anthony, is this another incident that you're saying did not happen?
Your Honor, the woman she's speaking of, as far as the issue with the family member being in the house, I left. Because she told me she ain't want nothing else to do with me. She told me I was stupid. She told me I do not please her. She told me she did not want to have my child. And she told me to leave and go be with somebody who want me. So guess what?
This was after the family member incident?
Right.
So that was a woman that you were not seeing?
At that point. Correct.
Okay.
I was not at that point in time.
And when you left, you started seeing her?
Correct. And she knew it because I tell her.
What happened with the child?
Yes, the child came in, he ended up getting with a girl, and she got pregnant. And then on top of that, he ended up bringing the girl to the house.
So you brought this woman to the house?
What house?
You don't know what house I'm speaking of?
No.
The house the two of you were living in?
No. She never been to the house me and her was living in.
So you did not bring a woman to the house?
No, I did not. I took the girl to my mama's house. Mm-hmm. To my mama's house. Mm-hmm. She was to my mama's house. Mm-hmm. My children to my mama's house. And she telling me all this and telling me all that. Oh, okay, that's how you feel? Cool, no problem. I'm gonna go get with this girl. And that's just what I did. And she dropped me off to my mama's house. I wasn't going back to her house, even though eventually I did. But no, but
so
she knew.
So after all of this, the two of you get back together?
That's another story that he brought out on his own, the one to tell. Okay. Your Honor.
Who is you talking about then?
Ma'am.
I'm confused.
Well, there's a lot of apparently there's a lot of different women over the years.
Yes.
That's being brought up in this discussion. I could understand your confusion because I'm having a hard time keeping up. when you have a case like this, and it's not, because some people come in, they have their photos, they have their text messages, they have all of this. All I have here is your testimony. And, there are some facts being alleged here that I have a hard time believing that they are just made up out of thin air. For what reason? Right. And when you say you moved somewhere and everything was a complete lie, I think what you said about the belittling that's taken place, the name calling that's taken place, everything that I've witnessed, a pattern and practice of petty and emotionally abusive behavior. And you have tolerated far too much.
Oh, this just one side, right?
I am not finished speaking, sir.
I'm just saying, you talking about, well, she had to tolerate. What about me tolerating? And then on top of that, I ain't got nothing to lie about. I really, really don't have nothing to lie about. For what? And I ain't say nothing about me being no youth pastor because I love the Lord. And as far as me dealing with children, I deal with children to this very day. I would love to pastor children, but I never come out my mouth like you said you think I did to tell her that I was a youth pastor.
Let me tell you something.
I am not no youth pastor. I've never been one.
All right.
You know what? The anger issues she talked about you having, you just demonstrated them here in court today. You have no self-control. Because if you will act like that in court and disrespect this courtroom the way you just did, I can only imagine how you treat your wife.
Okay, you could imagine.
And I am not a 23-year-old young lady from Georgia that you can sweet talk and move somewhere in a month.
Whatever.
Absolutely not.
If you want to fall for that, go ahead, Judge.
Show some respect in this courtroom.
Yes, ma'am.
$995 for the phone bill. What is that about, ma'am?
I had got a telephone bill in my name because he agreed to pay it if I had got it. I was out of work at that time.
Do you have any proof that he agreed to pay this bill?
No, I just got it on my credit score.
Well, that's unfortunate because without proof that he agreed to pay it, I can't order him to pay this bill.
Yes,
and I have no problem if he agreed to pay it, but I don't have legal proof that was an agreement between the two of you. Do I believe a lot of things that you said here in court today? No, I don't. But I also, just the sheer amount of disrespect you've shown this courtroom today, I find it to be highly problematic because there's just a certain amount of respect you have to have, whether it's in your personal life or in a professional atmosphere. And I don't think you've shown either. And I find that the absolute best thing you can do is to move on and do better for yourself and your life because that's what you deserve.
Yes, sir.
And surround yourself with people who are worthy of your love. That is my judgment.
Glory be to God.
You need to stop using God's name in vain.
You don't know me. Really, you don't. You don't even God talking about using the in vain. She said that she need to find something better for her life. Thumbs up with that. Wish her the best. Get this divorce. Keep it moving.
I feel like she was fair and that he can kick rocks. He ain't no good. Y'all remember that face, cause he ain't no good.
Take your time and really study before you jump in a relationship, especially one that we did. Not saying it was all bad.
Like I said, y'all
ain't finna go back and forth, man.
Y'all remember.
Man, look here. They're over with. They're over with.
It's over with.
They're over with. So let's just kill this.
We gonna kill it.
So we can walk on in these shoes. And I can walk on in these shoes. We can get on up out of here.